This divide and conquer strategy um, has caused us to uh, become something that we're not. We're not baby mamas. We're not baby daddies. We're not ratchet. We're not, our goddesses are not bitches and hoes. We are not thugs and savages. We're gods. Having a human experience, but we have gotten lost in this false identity that was forced on us as a Negro or a nigger. And so when you look at people like Snoop Dogg, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, uh, uh, Eric Dyson, Bill Cosby, these two identities recognize at a certain point, enough is enough. What's going on here? You were born a god or a goddess. You were taught systematically how to be a bitch, how to be a hoe, how to be a nothing ass nigga, how to be a thug, how to be a thought. That's not who you are. That's not who we are. This is not about self-esteem, family. This is about vacant esteem. This system is designed, this is Dr. Joy DeGruy's work of post-traumatic slave syndrome. The system is designed for the Black man and the Black woman to have vacant esteem, to have no sense of ever evolving, living, reaching our highest levels of potential. And so the Black man has to either assimilate into this culture, or he has to be, as they say, be in these streets. The Black woman only has the choice of assimilating, and that assimilation means assimilating with, aligning with the values and the concept of whiteness and European frequency. And by default, deny themselves and deny and hurt and harm their own African men. So we must step back and ask the question, when did I become a nigger or a Negro? Do you remember? When you were a child, did you ever run up to your mother or father or any adult that you held in high esteem and ask the question, Mom, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be the best Negro or the best nigger I can be? You know you didn't. Mom, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be the most ratchet, thuggish thought you could ever imagine. Mom, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be crack addicted, drug addicted. I want to be an alcoholic. No. These are not goals of gods and goddesses. Something happened to us. And as a result of this frequency, being born into this frequency, this lower frequency we call second frequency in the metaphysical frequencies framework, we were attacked before we were born. There's a concept known as epigenetics, genetic memory, axiology, whereby they have shown that characteristics, traits, and behaviors can be transferred through generations. They have found that these characteristics and traits, whether they're good or bad, can be traced back to 14 generations. If you look at 14 generations, if you look at 25 years being a generation, that puts us about 350 years of this ancestral trauma that we are carrying in our Black bodies, that our mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers, so on and so forth, have been transferred into us. So there's a level of pre-birth that we're dealing with trauma. And then when we come out of the womb, we are bombarded with racialized battle fatigue trauma. When we were babies, we had a sense of self. We were gregarious. We were undefeatable, unstoppable. But then something happened to us. We started watching television and we saw white cartoons with European voices. We played with European dolls. Our first concept of a deity or the divine was a European figure and figures. And so we started to look and lose our sense of self. And it was then that we were forced to make a choice, looking around at our families, looking around at our communities. Do I become a Negro or do I become a nigger? If I don't have access to academia, if I don't have access to income and economics, I can't be an assimilated good Negro and get a job and just go along to get along. And so if I don't have that, and I can't be a God because I don't know I'm a God yet, right? Because I'm a child. But I look around and I say, well, so-and-so is over there selling that bag. So-and-so is out there on these streets. Well, maybe that's what I should do. And so all of a sudden, you become that nigger, you become a real nigger. That is not who you are, but it's all that you know. This is what has happened to us. We didn't ask for this. Whatever you have done, whatever has been done to you, it ain't your fault. It has nothing to do with you. I don't care how much dirt you have done. I don't care what you have done in the name of survival. It's not your fault. This was done to you. Because if you had a choice to do better or had a choice to know better, you would have done better. But you didn't have a choice. None of us did. And so over the years, as we become teenagers, as we become adults, young adults, and then adults, we slowly, systematically lose a sense of hope. We learn how to be helpless. And so this is why it's called a fatigue, racial battle fatigue. We're tired. We feel that we can't fight it, we can't win. So we go along to get along at whatever frequency, those two frequencies that we have, whether we're Negroes or niggas. And we're at odds because the Negro doesn't want to be a nothing ass nigga, and the nigga doesn't like and respect the Negro. And none of us know the difference between the two. But in this situation with Gayle King and Oprah, particularly attacking Black men, both frequencies came together and said, enough is enough. I'm here to tell you, that is your godship. That is your goddess and your inner God telling you who you are. That this ain't right. This is not who we are. Nothing is wrong with Black people. Something happened to Black people, and it's continuing to do so.